start with Martin Gertz. Martin Gertz is an old. I think we started working together back in 2013, 10 years ago. So we know each other for a while. He's a well-known head of unit in the European Commission, working in the Secretary General, now in the business side, but on the IT world for a long period. So it's a pleasure to have you here. We also have together with Martin, we have Edita Posel Szczesnik. I hope.
Stay with Posel.
Edita Posel. He is also a colleague from the European Commission, working as a head of unit, the head of the data and formal standardization services in the publications office in the EU, and also quite involved in the standards and in particular in the Acomentoso for standards. So all of them, they are going to speak about LEOS, the drafting tool that the Commission is developing, and also the enabler, which is Acomentoso for EU, the standard in which LEOS is based. I would like that you take the stage. First, I think Martin, you start. Meanwhile, as we did in the previous session, we have a Slido. We have 3 questions. One is the transformative IT projects in your public administration, institution, or country, priority is given to legal drafting. You have choices there. The second one is, what are the tools that is your public administration, country, institution using for legal drafting? What is the biggest challenge you encounter in legal drafting? So please get to the Slido. And I remind you that the question and answers in the Slido is open throughout the whole session. And we will do as we did in the last panel. We will come back to the questions at the end as we do. So Martin, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. Very pleased to be here at this workshop. A slow start, as colleagues are still arriving after the coffee break. So I will present to you LEOS. LEOS stands for Legislation Editing Open Software. Some of you know this project. The Commission has been developing it together with several partners over a couple of years now. It's a mature product. We are running legislative decisions, proposals using the EDIT software, which is the Commission twin, if I may say so, from LEOS. And our plan is actually for the next Commission, which will take office before, to introduce EDIT/LEOS as the compulsory tool to draft legislative proposals for the ordinary legislative procedure. So we have again the Slido. Please answer to the questions that we are asking you. In fact, my presentation will cover maybe 3 elements. I would like to give you some idea about the context in which LEOS Edit is used, then explain what LEOS, what the main concepts are behind LEOS, and then to provide you some outlook. So, in fact, legislative drafting is at the core of Commission's activity. We have already heard some impressive figures, I think. So here it's also 10,000 legal acts, which the Commission adopts every year. This means 50 per day. Fortunately, not all of them have to be adopted by the college, so that would be a lot of work, I think. We do just like that. But most of these acts are adopted in IT tools, in the Commission's decision-making information system. But you multiply this by 20 pages per act, 23 languages for some of these acts, and then you understand the sheer volume of legislative production in the Commission. So we need definitely an efficient tool for that. And some of the groundwork was laid by the better regulation communication. I would like to take out perhaps two elements from this communication, which concern particularly the LEOS. First of all, the questions of efficiency. I think it was also mentioned already before. We are living multiple crises. We can no longer afford drafting, designing legislations during years, and so it must now be months, it must be weeks, it must sometimes be days that are available basically to draft such legislative proposals. The second element I would like to highlight is the collaboration. So policymaking is no longer about some people sitting together around a table. And so it's complex policy proposals, climate change, you need to bring together competencies from different areas. So this is also a key requirement towards a legislative drafting tool, that it supports collaboration. Obviously, in the Commission, this is a quite unique lawmaking process. I don't think I have to enter into much more detail on that. Still the remote control. The Commission has given itself a digital strategy, and also here I would like to take out one key element, which is cultural change. So it's not about introducing IT tools, but it is also managing change, the cultural change that comes with it. And it's also about being very user-centric and also very careful about optimizing, streamlining your processes. Not enter into all details of this lawmaking policy development cycle in the European Union, perhaps just taking out the three main elements you see here on top. So usually a policy initiative starts with a planning phase where, in fact, the idea is born, where the initiative is validated, where we have a roadmap, where we consult. And in this phase, the drafting is obviously already essential because services in the Commission need to work together to ingest all this information and to make a first draft of the legislative proposal. Then comes the phase of inter-service consultation. Meaning every legislative proposal has to be presented, circulated to directors general who have a legitimate interest in this proposal. They will provide answers, and in this phase, it is essential that we can work on a single document. So currently, what is the case? The policy proposal is sent out. Often 30, 40 documents are coming back with track changes and so on. It's very cumbersome to consolidate this. So for creating a tool, it is also important that these contributions can be, in fact, integrated in an efficient way. And that is what in the pilots users have really loved about the LEOS, the edit software. Last but not least, we get into the adoption step. So there the commissioners, their cabinets have to agree on the legislative proposal. And here again, it's key to provide the capability to comment, to provide changes in full transparency so that an agreement can be reached. Let me present LEOS, the business case, or probably rather the problem statement. I think those of you who are involved in legislative drafting, in policy proposals are quite familiar about many of these points here. The process is complex. We're currently often working with standard office automation tools enriched in the Commission by an add-on which is called Legiswrite, which many people hate. It's already a very old system. We have many stakeholders involved. The rules for legislative drafting are often not correctly implemented. Different versions of documents are circulating by email, so it is very often quite a headache. So what does LEOS offer to address this situation? So it manages clearly this complexity in a much better way than the tools we are currently using. I already spoke about teamwork, collaboration, which is in fact supported. The policymakers, the lawyers can focus on the substance of the proposal. They don't have to care about the formal aspects. We also have, let's say, an important step towards a unique data space where all the information that you need in the specific legislative process is brought together. And last but not least, I would also mention that such a tool can also be flexibly integrated in the decision-making information system that the Commission and national administration will use. Briefly, what we are busy with currently, as I said, LEOS is maturing. It is getting, let's say, a fully fledged solution that can be used in an operational context. We have been working a lot to improve the user interface. We have a feature which is critical for the legal service in the Commission, the track changes. We are very proud of this solution, which is really coming close to what users know from office automation systems they are using. We have been working on performance, security, integration. There is now also a dedicated support offering, which we are building up in order also to build a community around LEOS. So just to show the beast. Test it, and so there will be a stand tomorrow, so you will be able to live LEOS a real environment. LEOS is one of the most ambitious open source initiatives from the Commission, and indeed this is an important part, basically, of the offering that we wish to make to the other institutions, but also to other member states. And I'm here in Spain, which is one of the early adopters of our LEOS software. So this is embedded into the open source strategy of the Commission, and we are making every possible effort indeed to share the work that has been done with interested stakeholders who want to use it, but also who want to contribute it. LEOS is available on code.europa.eu, so it's available for download, and so I can only invite you to use it, to test it. In fact, the outlook, I don't want to take too much of the content of the other presenters. Obviously, we are now trying to implement the system so that it fully corresponds to the needs of the administration. We are going in the direction trying to envisage which elements of artificial intelligence, for example, can be integrated. So smart functionalities will be presented later on. This is the future outlook. I mean, we have currently legislative texts which are just unstructured text files. In future, there will be highly structured legislative documents which respect a common standard, and this will be, I think, also the major game changer that will allow to do advanced analytics on these texts and to apply artificial intelligence algorithm on legislative text on the acquis of the European Union.
Thank you, Martin.